US nuclear talks, Iran has said that any new nuclear deal must respect its right under the Non-Proliferation Treaty to enrich uranium for peaceful purposes, rejecting US demands for a halt. Meanwhile, Foreign Minister of Iran, Abbas Araghchi, reiterated that it was reviewing the details of a possible resumption of talks with the United States on its nuclear program. He has further said that any talks with major powers would focus only on Iran's nuclear activities, not military capabilities like its ballistic missile arsenal. Tehran and Washington had been engaged in talks since April, but those efforts were disrupted when US ally Israel launched a surprise attack on Iran's nuclear facilities on June the 13th, just 2 days before a planned meeting in Oman. Iranian Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi, while warning Europe, has said that a so-called snapback of UN sanctions could end Europe's role in the issue of Tehran's nuclear program. A clause in the 2015 nuclear agreement between Iran and world powers allows for UN sanctions to be reimposed in the event Tehran breaches the deal. While speaking on the potential deal with the US on nuclear, Araghchi said that cooperation with the UN nuclear watchdog, the IAEA, will take a new form. Well, moving on, and the United Nations warned today that dire fuel shortages in the Gaza Strip have reached critical levels, threatening to further increase the suffering in the war-ravaged territory. 7 UN agencies sent in a statement that fuel is the backbone of survival in Gaza and powers hospitals, water systems, sanitation networks, ambulances and other humanitarian operations. Without it, Gaza faces the collapse of healthcare, clean water access and aid delivery. The warning comes just days after the UN managed to deliver fuel to Gaza for the first time in 130 days, but only a fraction of the daily requirement was met. The agencies say a consistent and adequate fuel supply is urgently needed to prevent a complete humanitarian breakdown. Turkey's President Recep Tayyip Erdogan has declared that a new page has opened after Kurdish PKK fighters began disarming, marking the start of a long-awaited peace process. On Friday, 30 PKK fighters symbolically burned their weapons in northern Iraq following a call by imprisoned PKK leader Abdullah Öcalan to end armed struggle. Erdogan called the move a victory for all citizens and said it signalled the beginning of the end of a 40-year insurgency that has killed more than 40,000 people. Let's listen in to what Erdogan had to say.
İtibariyle 47 yıllık terör belası inşallah sona erme sürecine girmiştir. Türkiye uzun, acılı, sancılı, gözyaşlarıyla dolu bir sayfayı dün itibariyle kapatmaya başlamıştır. Türkiye kazanmıştır. Milletim kazanmıştır. Türk, Kürt, Arap 86 milyon. Her bir vatandaşımız kazanmıştır.
Well, he urged the Turkish parliament to support the disarmament process and oversee the PKK's transition into legal democratic politics. The disarmament will continue in stages and is expected to be complete by September. We head back now to the Middle East, and in a rare development, a Syrian and an Israeli official are expected to meet later today in Baku, Azerbaijan, according to a diplomatic source in Damascus. The meeting will take place on the sidelines of Syrian President Ahmed al-Shara's visit to the country, but will not include Shara himself. The talks are set to focus on Israel's recent military presence in Syria following the ousting of former President Bashar al-Assad in December.